iniisip ko na at pinaghahandaan bukas. Na hindi na pala niya kailangang umalis ng bahay upang tumawid sa tulay, pumunta sa paaralan at makipagkaibigan. Hindi ko na rin siyang kailangan pang iwan sa kanyang guro at mga kalaro. At hindi na niya kailangang magpaalam sa akin para may baon siyang dadalhin. Anak, ngayong balik eskwela na ay kapiling na lagi kita. Sa ngayon, ito muna ang baon mo. Ang oras ko, ang ipon ko, ang hataw ko, ang pagmamahal ko. Dahil hindi lang pera o barya ang kaya kong ibigay sa iyong paglalakbay. Sa walang katiyakang panahon at walang hanggang pagkakataon, tuloy ang edukasyon, tuloy ang baon.
Hi to all teachers out there. As we move closer to the threshold of the new academic year and the new normal, many people start to doubt about teachers' involvement in the learning process. Are they detached from their roles in nurturing lifelong learners? Or are they disengaged from the algorithm of the ideal teaching and learning process? In this session, allow me to situate the teacher in the new modality of teaching and learning in this time of the pandemic and examine their intricate roles as they carry out their mandate to deliver quality basic education for all learners at all times. The most essential learning competencies were provided by DepEd as the primary reference for all schools in determining and implementing learning delivery approaches that are suited to the local context and diversity of learners while adapting to the challenges posed by COVID-19. Referring to the MELCs, teachers collaboratively create learning designs for different learning areas. Following the DepEd MIS or instructional delivery model for distance learning, these come in two forms: digital or electronic instructional materials in video format and self-learning modules in print format. Both should be complementary to enhance or emphasize the lessons to be learned in a specific time frame, or should be supplementary to complete the processes needed for the acquisition of specific competencies. The digital file covers the part when the teacher delivers instruction through presentation of the lesson, demonstration of skill, illustration of learning experiences, and elucidation of meaning, while the module promotes students' engagement and ensures students understand concepts and skill relevance. It is focused on exposing students to concepts and skills and practicing them in ways that allow for teachers' feedback. From the teacher, The digital or electronic instructional materials are channeled through different means. The most common and most accepted is through offline external interface using universal serial bus for TV and computers or USB on the go for tablets and smartphones to act as hosts. The same digital materials can be channeled through online platforms or through live TV or radio broadcasting or streaming on real time. The digital content will serve as teachers' input. The teacher's input and the self-learning modules are designed to create the ideal learning process of the learner, where they acquire concrete experience, where they reflect on the experience, learn from the experience, and try out what has been learned through active experimentation. All these will form part of the learner's products of learning. Products are learners' active engagement in their own learning process and making sense of the content. Learners are subjects of their own learning. To be engaged in the learning process, students must be given ownership for their learning. This ownership grows from personal and situational choices within the learning experience. The products of learning then allows the students to do assessment of learning, emphasizing their accountability over their own learning, and the teacher to do assessment for learning that is aimed at helping students know what to do to improve their work. Through the intricacies of this learning process is a teacher's creativity, ingenuity, diligence, responsibility, and accountability. The teacher is the design herself, and if the teacher is not seen in the forefront, it is because he or she is on the other end, holding the lever to move the whole system to work. Now momentarily here in my office, everybody is restricted to come near me so I don't have to wear a mask. Every close contact I have with other people builds up my level of anxiety. So you see, I am just as anxious as everyone else in this time of the pandemic with all the restrictions and limitations being imposed. Restrictions seem to have defined the new normal. We are restricted to hold face-to-face meetings, to go to the mall, to attend religious congregations, just to maintain the universal policy on social distancing. So what used to be often became unfrequented. What used to be usual became rare. And we feel less because emotions are strongly connected to movement and expression. More movement and expression means we feel more. Less movement and expression means we feel less. We might be in a situation when we feel less lonely and sad, but we always have an option to see things differently and choose to be creative, restorative, and innovative. When we learn that schools will be open in August, we start to think about the things that we can't do and we don't have. We don't have online resources. Our teachers can teach online. Our student can access online learning. And so on and so forth. The list can be endless. But I really believe that the first step to take in order to thrive in the new normal is change of mindset. Rather than thinking to be less, think to be more. And so in this session, I will talk about the banner program of Misamis Oriental Division dubbed as Be More. Optimization is the design and operation of a system or process to make it as good as possible in some defined sense, while maximization is the act of raising something to its greatest value or extent. Using these principles will ensure that the utilization of resources and implementation of initiatives will be done in a way that it will get the best results. The big question now is, do we have resources? The answer is we don't have if we focus on what we don't have. But we have resources in our possession and within our control. What are these resources? They come in 4 T's: treasure, talent, technology, and time. Treasure represents our financial resources. We need to do realignment of resources by revisiting our strategic plan and division education development plan. There are program strategies and modalities that are no longer relevant. There are also emerging needs that we need to prioritize, hence the realignment. Even our school budget must be reviewed. our special education fund must be revisited to ensure that it supports the expenditures identified in our learning continuity plan. Talent represents our human resources. Imagine our thousands of teachers and personnel. That is a great deal of human resources, and we need to tap these resources now. Each teacher is a repository of teaching techniques and strategies that are time-tested and are quality assured based on the products that they have produced over the years. Currently, we are pooling our resources together by inviting teachers to write modules that can be used in online and offline modalities throughout the school year. By maximizing talent and skills of our teachers, we save money and time in coming up with lesson exemplars that can be used by all teachers. So, before we go outside and look for resources on teacher training, let's look at our best practices first that work best in our own context. One strategy on how we optimize the use of technology is through our project modem, or Misamis Oriental Digital Mainstreaming. We see to it that a system is established before we conduct training on content so no teacher is left behind. Now, 100% of our districts has established the ICT network, which facilitated the delivery of training and other initiatives to the doorstep of our teachers. Time is the most important resource ever. Once time is gone, it's gone forever. It's a limited resource that expires every day, so instead of just getting petrified in one corner and do nothing except to wait until the pandemic is over, let's innovate, create, and look for solutions. Some major innovations that we have conducted are the following. SOAR 2.0. This is scaling up organizational accountability and responsibility. This is our capability building program for the supervisors and school heads on digital leadership. Considering that we now operate in a new leadership environment we describe as VUCA, volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous world, it is a must to open opportunities to our education leaders to acquire fresh new perspectives on school leadership. ELEVATE stands for Enhancing Learning in Virtual and Actual Thinking Environments. This is to ensure that methodologies used in teaching are varied, learner-centered, and multimodal. This project highlights the adoption of blended learning and other available alternative delivery modes and the promotion of critical thinking and 21st century skills acquisition. This COVID-19 crisis is a test of our character. The more resilient we are, the easier we can navigate through this challenging situation. The more creative we are, the more we can discover solutions and intervention, and the more we can foster a sense of normalcy in this time of the need. Be More is not just an initiative, it's a mindset.
Kung ahagin alang sa ating mga magtutudlo ang pag-edukar sa ating mga magtutungha taliwala sa huga sa COVID-19. Tungod sa dedikasyon sa Department of Education alang sa pagpadayon sa edukasyon para sa tanan, kaya tagan usab og pagtagad ang offline distance learning tungod ug alang sa mga magtutungha nga dili makahimo sa online class. Hugot ang atong pakiglambigit sa atong mga barangay officials aron mahatag ang mga modules nga pagagamitan sa atong mga magtutungha. Nakiglambigit usab kita sa atong mga ginikanan nga aduna usab dagkong tahas sa pagpaedukar sa atong mga kabataan. At sundan ang pagpahigayon sa distance learning.
Gikan sa Regional Office ang Project Adobe moagi sa Division Modem Nerve Center. Kini iapod-apod sa District Modem Center ug pagadawaton sa mga school heads para sa produksyon sa mga modules. Kalakip niini ang mga interaktibong nga videos nga binuhat sa mga magtutudlo para sa paghaom sa mga leksyon gamit ang lokal nga konteksto. Kini nga mga materyales pagadawaton sa mga magtutungha sa duha ka pamaagi, kuhaon sa eskwelahan o ihatod sa ilang tagsa sa ka mga panimalay.
Aron sa pagprepara sa atong mga magtutugma sa atong offline distance learning atong hatagan sa sabog pagtagad ang atong lunang pagtulunan.
O kini ang aking unang pagtuluan kung di makahimos pagtanaw sa TV gamit ang flash drive ang aking mga magtutuka na walay telebisyon sa ilahang panugalan. Anya ako karon sa balay ni June. Kining mga materyales ug ang flash drive, iya kini gamiton alang sa iyahang pagtuon. Pinaagi niini pwede niya mabalik-balik ang iyahang mga leksyon.
Gamit sa flash drive tungod kay pwede usab na ko makita ang ilang leksyon.
Nandun ko sa akong module o videos kay pabalik-balik ang akong lecture. Gusto ko maging guro. Gusto ko maging sundalo. Gusto ko maging nurse. Gusto ko maging doktor. Gusto ko mag-aral.
In a world that is full of uncertainties, one thing is for sure. Children don't stop dreaming. DepEd Miss Orr is poised to be more as it wipes out uncertainties by giving more opportunities through education for all our learners. We are ready to bring excellence as we maximize and optimize our resources in education. And these resources are in our possession: talents, technology, and time. Our teachers, resilient as they are, adapt into the new normal. As repositories of time-tested strategies, they prepared self-learning modules covering the most important learning competencies to deliver relevant lessons in 203 days through physical, virtual, or online modalities. Technology can break barriers, but it can also create barriers. So we make sure that the technology that we use is available in our teaching and learning environment. One strategy on how we optimize the use of technology is through our project modem, or Misamis Oriental Digital Education Mainstreaming. Now, almost 100% of the districts has established the ICT network, which facilitated the delivery of training and other initiatives to now almost 100% of our teachers.
As teachers, we need to make ourselves relevant by adopting techniques that facilitate learning in the new normal.
All these are covered under Elevate. This is to ensure that methodologies used in teaching and learning are varied, learner-centered, and multimodal. DepEd Miss Orr will continue to scale up organizational accountability and responsibility to acquire fresh new perspectives on school leadership through Project SOAR 2.0. All these initiatives are being laid because DepEd Miss Orr believes that education is a non-negotiable basic human right, and since children's safety is paramount in this time of the pandemic, our modalities should work to their advantage.
This COVID-19 crisis is a test of our character. It teaches us resilience and creativity. It sparks our confidence to try and fuels our tenacity to succeed. It ignites within us the desire to excel and to be more.
A pleasant morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the completion ceremony of the kindergarten learners of Kauswagan Elementary School with the theme, Kalidad ng Edukasyon. edukasyon lalong patatagin sa gitna ng pandemya, strengthening the quality of education amid the COVID-19 pandemic. The virtual program shall now commence. In lieu of the processional, we begin with a montage of images of the schoolmates, cohorts, and our completers for the school year 2020-2021.
Let us invoke the presence of the Lord through an opening prayer. This will be followed by the singing of the Philippine National Anthem and the regional hymn.
Make me a channel of your peace. Where there is hatred, let me bring your love. Where there is injury, your pardon, Lord. And where there's doubt, true faith in you. Make me a channel of your peace. Where there's despair in life, let me bring hope.
sang-awit ng Pilipinas.
Kayang magiliw, kaya sa silanganan, alam ng puso, sa titik mo'y buhay. Lupang hinirang, kuya ka ng magiting, sa manlulupin, di ka pasisingil, sa nagagang tutok sa simoy at sa langit mong pagaw, ay hinagang tulad, awit sa pagkayang minamahal, ang isang ng matawad mo'y tagumpay na nagtitingin, ang bituin at araw niya kailan pa may di magtitingin, luman ang araw ng walhagin pagsinta, buhay langit sa piling mo. Ang inigaya na pagkay mga amin, ang mamatay ng dahil sa'yo. Diyos sa iyong Mindanao mabuhay, himahal ang iyong natawan. Kauswagan masiglakon malipayon, pagpano sa katahon. Magpapiling taning kasing-kasing, ang kabanaan o kamalipayon. Isa ka nung edugma ang magpaibabaw, ang kahon sa'yo kanina. Mabuhay ang iyong Mindanao, utana ang iyong natawan. Bisag usap ang kalimar, kami na minahalan. Sa buhat ang katuyuan, simbolo sa kagawasan, magpabiling na magkahinusa, kadahugan sa tanan. Mabuhay ang iyong Mindanao, utana ang iyong natawan. Isag-usap ang kaliwat, kami nagminahalay. Sa buhat katuyuan, simbolo sa kagawasan, magpabiling na magkahinusa, kadahugan sa tanan. Magpabiling na magkahinusa, kadahugan sa tanan.
The school principal, Mr. Ferdinand F. Ubalde, will now formally open the kindergarten completion ceremony of Kauswagan Elementary School.
To our school's Division Superintendent, Dr. Jonathan S. De La Pina, CISO 5, and the ASDS, Dr. Nimpa R. Lago, the Deputy President and officers, the guest speaker, the faculty, and to the completers, parents, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. The completion ceremony of the kindergarten learners in Kauswagan Elementary School is hereby declared in session. In behalf of the administration, faculty, pupils, I welcome each and every one of you to this completion ceremony of the school year 2020-2021. We also extend to the kindergarten completers and their families our warmest felicitation on this special occasion. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ferdinand F. Ubalde. At this point, we shall now hear the message of our school's division superintendent, Dr. Jonathan S. De La Pena, CISO 5, and Deputy Secretary Leonor Magtulis Brianes.
If you don't go after what you want, you will never have it. If you don't ask, the answer is always no. If you don't step forward, you are always in the same place. Your graduation today is a milestone that marks how far you have traveled and what significant change have you made in your life. It is an important milestone as it signifies the acquisition of necessary competence, character, and credentials which allow you to confidently move to the next phase of your educational journey. I take pride in your achievement, which has become even more meaningful as the final stretch of your journey has been arduous. Each of you now exemplifies endurance and flexibility, which have long been considered as unique Filipino character. Both folkloric and historical, the Filipino is likened to a bamboo that bends with the wind and can survive a storm. More than resilience, we have strengthened our bayanihan spirit. I commend the school officials, teachers, and personnel for making everything possible, from writing and printing modules to ensuring that new modalities work for our learners. I also express my appreciation to the parents for playing unprecedented roles, especially when we transition to modular learning in the learners' learning spaces at home. Their participation to educating our children has been remarkable. I also express my gratitude to our government officials and stakeholders for providing us resources that we needed and for giving us hope and encouragement to continue doing our job. To our young graduates, you will be written in the history, for you emerged from unique circumstances. Step forward with pride and confidence. Pride for completing and hurdling a specific level of education, and confidence for the assurance that you have become 21st century learners who are competent, resilient, and independent. Warmest congratulations on your achievement.
Good day to each and everyone who is attending virtually present at this time of our graduation ceremonies for our beloved and very precious graduates for the school year which ends at this time. First of all, I'd like to greet the parents and family members without whose sacrifices, whose reminders, and whose participation in the learning process for our graduates have resulted in this culmination program. This year, your role has changed drastically, where we've always believed that the matter of educating our children rests nearly exclusively on our teachers and our staff. This time, you parents, you family members, you who are in the households of our learners have expanded your role and contributed to this wonderful day wherein finally, our learners are graduating in this culmination exercise. So congratulations, because this year has not been very easy, has not been a picnic for our teachers, for our family members, as well, especially the parents, mothers, fathers, sisters, brothers, and all who have contributed to the achievement of our learners at this time. So, maraming salamat at congratulations, parents and family members. mas malaki ang role ninyo at this time compared to earlier graduation exercises. Secondly, I would also like to greet our teachers, without whose very careful review and careful supervision of the work of our pupils and our learners, this event would would not be taking place at all. And so thank you, teachers. Your role has also expanded in addition to seeing to it that the modules are faithfully followed, the assignments are correctly implemented, and the learners are truly learning, and you have had to deal with new ways of assessing the performance also of the learners. So congratulations, teachers, for enduring, for your patience, for your love for our learners, and your willingness to engage in a way and methods of teaching which are different from those which are used to. Assessment must have been especially difficult for you, especially since you were not able to see most of the time our students in face-to-face meetings, and most of the meetings, of course, were virtual. We'd also like to thank the local government units for their interest, for their cooperation, and for their continuing contributions to the needs of education, even as our children do not go to school. Your donations of material as well as financial resources at this time are most welcome, and your advice has been taken seriously not only by our teachers, by our school officials, but also by our officials in the Department of Education. We continually talk with local government units, especially in times of disaster, in times of great need for classrooms, for space, and for responses to unforeseen emergencies. Thank you, local government units. But of course, most of the congratulatory greetings fall on the deserving graduate. Each and every one of you is truly special. You are different from the other graduates who have passed through the portals of your school. You went to school practically without seeing your teachers, if at all. You went to school with your parents, your mothers, and your fathers hovering over your shoulders and seeing to it that you are able to complete your assignments. You are completing your studies at a time when examinations and assessments are different. You are culminating these long months of hard work at this time, even as you have to do family chores, even as you are distracted, and even as your world has turned upside down, and it seems and it appears as if we don't know what the future holds and what will happen next. But you have persevered, and now you are ready to graduate. And therefore, you deserve each and every bit of congratulations from us in the Department of Education, from your parents and family members, your teachers, from the officials in local government, as well as in the parent teachers associations. You deserve each and every single congratulatory pat on your back, each hug virtually, of course, and each greeting, which I am sure you are also receiving virtually. I don't know if you will remember this event many, many years from now. I have tried to recall myself who our graduation speaker was when I finished high school and when I finished my college studies. All I remember is that the graduation speaker was someone important, someone who was invited because that someone is supposed to give a message. What was more important to us graduates at that time was the excitement of the celebrations, the happiness and the joy of our parents, the sadness of parting from our classmates and from our teachers, and the enjoyment of all the graduation events that usually take place come commencement day. When I was a college student, we had a series of events which were designed to embed in our minds, which were designed to help us remember and not forget our days in college. We would spend one whole day going around the campus, visiting the classrooms, saying goodbye to our teachers, and sharing memories. We would have bonfires to say goodbye to each other. We had baccalaureate services where we committed ourselves to God and we prayed for guidance when we go out into the world. So many celebrations, and the speaker, of course, is the least important and easily forgotten component of the graduation exercise. Nonetheless, I will exert all efforts to share with you what I see are things or issues which a graduate should remember and recall. I have said that you are very special. You are very different. You are pioneering. There has been no other class like your class. There has been no other graduate like you as a graduating student because you are the very first graduate of the blended learning response to education in the Philippines. And so you ask yourself, what awaits you in the world outside? You can either work because the kind of curriculum you survived and underwent as a student will enable you to go to work if you wish to go to work. Some of you will proceed to further studies, and this would be a wonderful thing because there are many opportunities for further expanding your knowledge, for further answering and looking for explanations of issues, events that make you curious, especially in science, in technology, and also in the arts. So you can work, you can go to further studies, and perhaps some of you will settle down, hopefully not too soon, so you can pursue what you really want to do. So today, this is why we call this exercise a commencement exercise. It's not the end of our studies. It's not the end of all our efforts with blended learning, with modules, with floods, with earthquakes, and of course with COVID. It's a commencement of doors opening to you. More doors will be opened because you are a graduate. You can work, you can proceed for further studies, you can help your parents, and you can perhaps look for opportunities to do what you have always wanted to do, whether at work, whether at advanced studies, whether at learning more in science and technology, in mathematics, and in the arts. All of these opportunities are available to you. More doors are being opened. I hope you will select the door which arouses your curiosity, the door which will help you know more about this world, and the door which will allow you to contribute to the development of our country and contribute whatever we can to solve our problems and our challenges. Congratulations once more to each and every one of you. Congratulations to you, parents and family members. Congratulations to you, teachers. When I was chair of the board of Silliman University, each time we had graduation ceremonies during the baccalaureate and during commencement itself, I would cry. I would cry because you are sending out into the world a new batch of graduates, and we want to be sure that what is awaiting them is appropriate. We want to be sure that they are ready for what awaits them when they select which door to open. And so we tell you, go out to the world, do whatever you want to do. God be with you, and be assured that all of us love each and every one of you. Congratulations.
The school principal, Mr. Ferdinand R. Pabalde, will now present the kindergarten completers.
Dr. Jonathan S. De La Pina, CISO 5, Schools Division Superintendent of the Division of Misamis Oriental. I have the honor to present to you the kindergarten completers of Kauswagan Elementary School for school year 2020-2021, of whom 25 are male, 18 are female, a total of 43 kindergarten learners who have satisfactorily completed the requirements of the K-12 Basic Education Curriculum of the Department of Education. May I therefore request you to confirm their completion.
By virtue of the authority vested upon me by our school's division superintendent, Dr. Jonathan S. De La Peña, and based upon the presentation of your school principal, that these candidates for completion have satisfactorily completed all the requirements of kindergarten level under K-12 curriculum prescribed by the Department of Education. I hereby confirm you completers of school year 2020-2021. You may now receive your certificates of completion and enjoy the rights and privileges appertaining thereto. Congratulations!
The distribution of certificates of completion shall now follow. Ladies and gentlemen, the kindergarten completers of Kauswagan Elementary School.
Reed Gabriel B. Anthony Jr. B. Akaw. Denmark J. M. Babatu. Domingo Jr. A. Beduria. Earl Brian C. Dahalos. Terrence Y. Delahigo. Maxine Chris T. Galisa. Prince Stanley G. Latra. Joshua Lorito. Aldrin M. Miguela. John Clint O. Miguela. Angelo Namugot. Justin S. Oliva. Rick Lawrence A. Pimentel. Arnold N. Redondo. Kanji Kent K. Sala. Daniel G. Soriano.
Clarence A. Tamparo.
John Wesley A. Verdadero.
Talia E. Abkina. Yvonne D. Akaw. Maria Chris Luis M. Awitin. Shikina Rain T. Kamanian. Isabel Burfi O. Inad. Sophia Y. Daaka. Viana Faith P. Esclamado. Marianne C. Longino. Janiela B. Pabiano. Ella Luis F. Picardal. Angel Faith C. Poblete. Crystal G. Rimolio. Lenzel May A. Salvania. Princess May N. Wahiman.
To our school's administrators, teachers, proud parents, ladies and gentlemen, a blessed morning to all of you. Thank you for inviting me as a guest speaker for this kindergarten moving up ceremony, school year 2020-2021, with the theme, Kalidad ng Edukasyon lalong patatagin sa gitna ng pandemya, strengthening the quality of education amid COVID-19 pandemic. Preschool days were very exciting and challenging. Study here, study there, but most of all, module here, module there, because of the pandemic that we are facing today. With that, I would like to thank all the parents for assisting your children in their modules, for your effort in going to school every weekend, for receiving and retrieving of the said modules. Congratulations to all of your completers. Moving up is a time to celebrate an extremely important milestone in your lives. The milestone in education is something worth commemorating and enjoying. For the proud parents, it is time to show your children the value of education through positive reinforcement and support. The condition of your children will bring them to a regular graders in the next step of their lives. I am sending my best wishes to you, my dear preschool completers, for completing your first year in school amidst of COVID-19 pandemic. Congratulations.
Thank you very much, Mr. Jeffrey Flores.
We shall now virtually award the plaque of appreciation to our guest speaker with the citation. Certificate of Appreciation is awarded to Jeffrey B. Flores in grateful acknowledgement of his distinguished and invaluable service rendered as a guest speaker during the Moving Up program of Kauswagan Elementary School with the theme, Kalidad ng Edukasyon Lalong Patatagin sa Gitna ng Pandemya, Strengthening the Quality of Education amid the COVID-19 pandemic.
Thank you very much, Mr. Jeffrey Flores.
Mrs. Mary Grace O. Inad, PTA President, will now formally close this ceremony.
Our Schools Division Superintendent Dr. Jonathan S. De La Peña, CSO5, and the Assistant Schools Division Superintendent Dr. Nempa R. Lago, CSO6, to our District Supervisor, Dr. Joel L. Jaime, our School Head, Ferdinand F. Obaldi, and the deputy officers, the guest speaker, faculty and staff, and to all the candidates for graduation, parents, teachers, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Let me say congratulations to the graduates of the Kauswagan Elementary School, class of 2021. As a Deputy President, I would like to formally close this 54th graduation ceremony of Kauswagan Elementary School. Thank you, and once again, congratulations.
The virtual completion ceremony of the kindergarten learners of Kauswagan Elementary School. Thank you for joining us in celebrating this momentous occasion. Congratulations, parents, teachers, and staff. Congratulations, kindergarten completers. Mabuhay ang DepEd.
We might not be walking across that stage with the cameras flashing. They've been waiting on our day. It's been a journey, hasn't it? I wouldn't trade a moment. No, I wouldn't change a moment. I'm who I am because of you. Whether we've known each other our whole life or just a year or two. And I'm grateful for the time we put in. or just a year or two.